So when I announced my retirement, to my chagrin, the Gala team decided that I would be the theme of the Gala and unceremoniously kicked me out of my own Zoom room. Danny, where's Danny? Danny was upgraded from consultant to creative lead. Sarah, where's Sarah? There she is. Sarah stepped into Danny's position, and the planning team was off without me. My wife just kept saying, "Don't ask any questions." And you all have kept so many secrets. How beautiful is this? How extraordinary is this? Thank you, Chris Tallarico. There will be more time for me to thank you later in the evening. For now, let's have our first big round of applause for everyone who stepped up to volunteer to make this evening possible and brought us to this time. Thank you, my friends.
Happy May, and a blessed Beltane to one and all on this glorious evening. We are your Boston sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yes, you are.
And my name is Sister Light of Christ.
Light of Christ.
So quickly, for those of you who may not know, the Sisters are an over 40-year-old organization of queer clown nuns. We were founded in San Francisco in 1979 with one goal, and that goal was to expiate stigmatic guilt and promulgate universal joy. Now, y'all seem to know what that means, but for those who may not, it's okay. That's flowery words for you, and you. Were born absolutely perfect, and anything that you learned along the way that maybe makes you feel less than or not enough, as long as you're not harming yourself or anybody else, it doesn't matter. So, bearing that in mind, we are all blessed to be here in this moment together. We are all blessed to be standing amongst our community. We're all blessed to know pain and to know joy, for we would not know one without the other. We're all blessed to know that we are loved tonight, and if you don't feel that you are, know that I love you. I choose to love you. Now, Great Spirit of Life, we have manifested here this evening to share and to celebrate with you your accomplishments as a vibrant and strong community and the steadfast Reverend Kim Crawford Harvie. It's a mouthful. We have borne witness to countless miracles during your ministry, Reverend. But we were wondering if you would indulge us in one more miracle this evening. Novice Avocado, would you please produce the sacred vessel? And Sister Judy, would you please claim the sacred chamois? Take center stage right at that spike mark, please. Now, Ava will pour the sacred vessel onto the floor. Now, Kim, would you please take one more step of faith towards your community? Oh yes, keep going, you've got it. It is a miracle we have witnessed this evening. Reverend Kim has walked on water. Be it henceforth known on this glorious day, May 4th, 2024, Reverend Kim has been officially elevated to the highest honor that the sisters can convey. Reverend, you are now and forever canonized by our order, and you will henceforth be known as Rainbow Reverend, Keeper of the Queer Flame, Love's Liberator, Kim the Luminous.
I just want to say, I've been wondering what I should tattoo on my body. Thank you, sisters. You are amazing. And everyone here knows you because you are the beneficiary of our Share the Plate generosity from last month. So soon a lovely check will be arriving for you from Arlington Street Church, from all these good people who so believe in your work. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you to your commitment to justice, community, enlightenment, and love. In closing, saints, sisters, and our community, please join us in our creed and repeat after me. I love you.
I love you.
I adore you.
I adore you.
I respect you.
I respect you.
I protect you.
I protect you.
And I serve you.
I serve you.
Amen. A woman. And the trans folk. Thank you very much.
Hello, my dearest Kim and Kem and all of you Arlington Street Tonians who have together created such a beautiful ministry for the past 35 years. How can that be? 35 years? It's amazing and wondrous. My name is Marni Harmony, and I am a happily retired UU minister living in Winter Park, Florida. And next month, we'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of my ordination. If you do the math, you will see that I am about 10 years older than Kim. But if you peek just behind the obvious math, you would discover that I have known Kim for 51 years. 51 years ago, I was the student minister at First Parish, Concord, where Kim was an adorable little dyke. If I remember correctly, I think I came to talk to her AYS class. In any case, that's how it started. We actually didn't meet again until Kim was on her way to ministry, and we met at a General Assembly. And from then on, well, it's just been love. I don't need to tell you all of the things that you already know about Kim, but let me share a couple of things that you don't know. When I was figuring out my own sexuality, Kim offered me a haven in her then cottage on the Cape. And when I was still trying to figure it out a couple of years later, she came down to Orlando, where I served as minister for 20 years, and did a keynote for the first ever gathering of LGBTQ UUs in Florida. I also want you to know that I actually wear Kim next to my heart. Well, Arlington Street Church as well. Did I mention that I was also a student minister at ASC, 1970 to 71? Well, about 20 years ago, I went through the Zen formality of what is called Jukai. Part of the process was begging scraps of material to sew a garment called a raksu, which goes around the neck and hangs around and over the chest. I wanted something from Kim, who sent me some cloth from the former old ASC pew covers. And so, in my raksu, you see, there they are, this strip right here. What a wise move that search committee made all those years ago. You invited a young, relatively new minister into the mother pulpit and probably never expected it to last for 35 years. But you chose the best. You chose a minister who not only came with polished skills in the arts of ministry, but also happens to have a heart as wide as the universe and seemingly boundless energy. She has loved you back equally to the ways in which you have loved her. You will not again find someone like Kim as your minister. But you will find someone who will succeed because you know what good ministry is and you know the importance of collaborating and creating it together. My beloved Kim and Kem, have a glorious and well-earned retirement. I am thrilled to be welcoming you to this phase of your life and so pleased and honored to have been part of your lives for so long. Go celebrate.
I was told to keep it to 5 minutes, so I made sure to write something down because every word counts. Plus, I'm old enough to need glasses now. So I met Kim when I was assistant minister at First Parish in Concord. Kim was, as you all know, she was born energetic, bright, and personable. It came with lifetimes. What touched my heart most deeply was that I came to realize that Dana Greeley was for both of us a father figure. We both needed him so much, and he was our father of choice. And so because of that, I've always felt a bond with you, Kim. Now, when I became minister at First Parish Brewster, Mass., Kim wrote me asking to do her ministerial internship in Brewster. Now, at the time, Kim was a key person in the UUA, helping to create the Welcoming Congregation program. And it is because of Kim that First Parish Brewster became the first UU church to be a welcoming congregation. But it wasn't easy. 25 members quit on the spot. I mean, do you remember those days back when UUs were blind and prejudiced, right? Kim led the way for the whole denomination. And now almost every single UU church is authentically a welcoming congregation. That's Kem Harvie. Now, while Kim was interning in Brewster, I became aware that there were maybe 12 members left in the UU church in Provincetown, and they were in negotiations to sell the church. This could not be allowed to happen. The Provincetown UU church is a beacon of hope for Americans across the whole country, for the whole LGBTQ plus community and allies. That church counts. So we finagled ways to get money and got Kim into that job, and the rest is history. She grew that church from 12 to whatever it was, 200 or something in 4 years. And the ministry of that church during the pandemic was beyond words to describe, beyond any words to describe. Kim, you saved that church. It's here today as a beacon for the whole country because you saved it. Thank you, Kim. Now, it was destiny that Kim would be minister in this pulpit. It was ordained in some divine plan. Because Dana Greeley, whose plaque is right over there, wanted Kim to be here. He's with us tonight, Kim. You know that, I know that. He has guided our ministry for so many years. Dana made everyone feel special. He made everyone feel special. He did just by being himself. There was no fake to it. It was just him. Kim, you are exactly like that. I only know 2 human beings who have been like this in my experience, you and Dana. You make everybody feel special just by meeting them, just by being with them. And your ministry has helped hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands. I try to think now, am I getting too hyperbole here? No, it's true. It's actually true. I figured it out. Hundreds of thousands of people have been touched by you. And finally, after you settled in Provincetown, you wrote me a card and you wrote, "You were the midwife at the birth of my ministry." And those words have settled in my heart and lived as a comfort to me for all these years. See, I'm just another one of the 100,000 who feel more love and hope in life because I've known you. And that's how everyone in this room feels, I believe. Thank you, Kim. You're the best.
Hi, I'm Gaby Whitehouse, and and I first came to Arlington Street Church in 1967, so it's been a while. And I was chair of the search committee that called Kim in 1989. And thank you. And we had a very healthy search committee. Don Richter was on it, who's, I don't think, here tonight, but he's still around, and several other people that you probably wouldn't remember now. And we had, I think, 11 applicants, and there were some very interesting ones. And everybody in the church in those days was saying, you've got to look into Kim Crawford Harvie. You've got to check out what's happening in Provincetown. She is amazing. But she didn't apply. So, so I picked up the phone and called her and said, hey, Kim, you want to think about coming to Arlington Street Church? And she said, but she had been having a difficult time there because she had buried many people in the last 4 years because of AIDS. And the idea of coming here, where her mentor and hero, Dana McLean Greeley, was here for 25 years, kind of appealed to her too. So she said, okay, I'll come and see you. And she came to visit the search committee with carrying little Jamie, who was under a year old, I think, at that time. And we had a lovely meeting with her, as you can imagine. And then we said, well, why don't you come up and look at the sanctuary, see what you think? And she went up there and looked around. She said, yeah, I can do this. Remember, Kim? She was right at home. And, after that, it was just a question of, bringing it up for a vote, which was, of course, overwhelming. And we think that we made a really good decision that day. So thank you, Kim, for 35 wonderful years. We really enjoyed it all the way. Love you. Bye.
Hello, friends. I'm Beth Robbins, and I serve as the executive minister here at Arlington Street. Thank you. Can we just acknowledge up front that this is very, very difficult? As I thought about what to say to our beloved Reverend Kim on the occasion of her retirement, I found myself oddly thinking about sports. I feel like I've been asked to commemorate in a few short minutes the career of Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, or Serena Williams. Kim, you are our GOAT. The greatest of all time. If you had a jersey, we would retire it, so no other minister would ever wear your number. That's right, we would hang your jersey right up here with Crawford Harvie emblazoned on the back. Historical Commission be damned. In a faith tradition that is full of wonderful leaders, your ministry is remarkable. Your legacy is exceptional. So, Maya Angelou, who we love, tells us, at the end of the day, people won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. This quote always makes me think of you, Kim. You make me feel joyful despite this. And you make me feel seen and cherished and deeply loved. I'd venture to guess that everyone in this room would say something similar. And there are thousands and thousands of people beyond this room who have been changed by your ministry. All of us in the concentric circles of your kindness and your warmth are so very blessed. We are better for having known you. Kim, you are our very own bodhisattva, part human, part divine, bringing your enormous compassion and devotion to helping others. I could cite endless examples of the ways you've helped me and made a real difference in my life. When my mom was in the hospital, you spent hours on the phone with me, and then you would call my dad because you knew he was struggling too. And despite being the GOAT of ministers, there is no task that is beneath you. You've lugged my window air conditioner up the stairs more than once. You've cut my hair. You've picked up my library books. Before my big interview with the Ministerial Fellowship Committee, you ironed my dress. When the pandemic hit, you and Kem readily took me in, inviting me to live with you on the Cape. I will never be able to fully express how much it meant to me to weather those tumultuous years together as a pod. Thank you. You've counseled me through every personal and professional challenge I have faced for the last 10 years. I can always count on your ready support, your astute advice, and your boundless loving kindness. The brownies and lemon squares have really helped too. Kim, you are a singular presence in my life. No one has impacted who I am today as much as you. What's amazing is that everyone in this room has their own list of the ways that you have uplifted and upheld them. You have a remarkable gift for being there at just the right moment and loving us, and there are so many of us, through the most difficult times in our lives. And when the best things happen, there is nobody better to celebrate with than our exuberant Kim. For 35 years, you have given so much of yourself to this ministry. No one works harder or with more energy or more delight than Kim K. Crawford Harvie. We can't thank you enough for your devotion to us individually and to this congregation. You can retire from your role as the senior minister at Arlington Street, but you will always be my teacher. Your mentorship has made me a better minister and a much better human. Our UU movement is stronger for all of the students you have trained, coached, loved into ministry, and sent forth to serve. You've amassed a staggering body of work in terms of preaching, sharing from your heart Sunday after Sunday, and engaging us with the beautiful, inspired sermon we needed to hear just that day. It would be impossible to calculate how many lives you have changed from your pulpit. And like the very best teachers, you impart some of your most important lessons without saying a word. You are brilliantly smart with no need to be showy. You have a keen ability to get right to the heart of the issue. I especially love that your bearing of authority in no way diminishes your wildly irreverent sense of humor. We've drawn courage watching you refuse to be cowed by anti-abortion terrorists or extremists marching under the banner of bigotry and hatred. You are an inspiring model for the power of long-term devotion to spiritual practice. We continue to practice in hopes that someday we too may exhibit your spaciousness and equanimity. Watching you walk through the world is a lesson in being present to the humanity in each person and the possibility of connection. May we all be such beacons of open, loving kindness. While we would vastly prefer that you stay here with us forever, we are sending you forth to the adventures of retirement with our blessings. You have taught us well and nurtured Arlington Street into a thriving spiritual community. We are prepared to carry on, loving one another well, and creating a vibrant future here. Kim, thanks to you, love is the spirit of this congregation. For 35 years, you have been sending out loving kindness to the person on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. Your legacy is one of sending out love into this beloved spiritual community. It is our great hope that you feel it coming back to you. Bless your heart. We love you. I love you very much.
In 1990, I left my beloved Boston and moved to San Francisco. Often, when I would meet people there and tell them that I was from Boston, they would ask me if I knew that lesbian minister in Boston. My reaction was never gracious and was instead along the lines of, I know you think San Francisco is the gay mecca of the world, but we have more than a couple lesbians in Boston, and believe it or not, we don't all know each other. And what about me makes you think that I would ever set foot in a church? For the entire 2 years I was in San Francisco, I was met with this question. It was very irritating. But then, after my first year there, out of the blue, I heard a very clear message inside myself that said I needed to move back to Boston. It made no sense, as many of my new West Coast friends told me. But the message was persistent and clear, and it left no doubt that moving back to Boston was what I needed to do. The wisdom of this message was confirmed when I was convinced to go to a fortune teller. It was San Francisco. This fortune teller who knew me as Kim, and said that I did indeed need to go back to Boston. She said it was where I was meant to be, and I needed to move back to Boston because there was someone there for whom I was returning. She said that this person was doing amazing work in the world and that she, the fortune teller, would love to meet her. However, she was a little perplexed because the name of this person for whom I was supposed to give up a great job in a great city and make a transcontinental move, the name that kept coming to her was my name. Kim. Strange. Well, whatever. It really didn't matter what she said. I had already made my decision to return to Boston, and so I packed up and made my way back across the country, even though I couldn't really articulate why, and I had no confidence that it was the right decision. I didn't know then how right the decision was, and I could never have known then how blessed my life was about to be. So, as you know, I found that lesbian minister in Washington, D.C., of all places, And lo and behold, her name was Kim. It's a miracle, really. But as accurate as the fortune teller was, what she didn't tell me was about all of you. She didn't tell me that Kim was a package deal, and that what was in that package with Kim was this remarkable community. I couldn't have known then, nor in my wildest dreams expected that I would fall in love with a church. Really? Yes. And that I would be accepted and embraced by this community, or that Kim and I as a couple would be supported and loved and celebrated by it. I cannot begin to tell you how grateful I am for all of you and for all that you have given us. Thank you for loving me and for loving us. Kim, you have thrown your heart and soul into this congregation, and you have loved everyone in it so deeply and so well, and I know your heart is breaking. We both knew that this day had to come, and this is a good time for it to come. But the decision being the right decision doesn't mean it's easy. I know you will carry everyone here in your heart and you in theirs. We are all a part of each other, and those bonds will not be broken. The fortune teller told me that I was meant to meet a remarkable woman, and she was spot on. What a remarkable woman you are. You have done incredible work, and you will continue to do incredible work. You will always give service. It's just who you are. I am grateful beyond measure to be by your side as we find new ways to serve while also having some wild adventures. Remember my wedding vow to you. I will always love you, and I will never leave you. I say to you in front of this wonderful gathering of people whom we love so much, that vow is truer today than it was on our wedding day more than 25 years ago. I adore you.
You know, it's fine until you let Kem get up here, and then I was like, now we're going to have a math class.
Good evening, everyone. I am the Reverend John O'Connor.
Yes, you are.
Yes. And I have the distinction of being the final in a very long line of ministers that Kim has ordained here in this church and throughout New England. And I am thrilled to be here, as I have been since 1989. And it only took me 30 years before I figured out that I should try and be more like you and less like me. Well, tonight we have a very special honor to bestow upon you and to share with you from Governor Maura T. Healey.
Oh, I love Maura.
Yes, and Lieutenant Governor Kimberly Driscoll. Awesome. Yes. To the Reverend Kim Crawford Harvie. On behalf of the residents of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you this Governor's Citation in recognition of your 35 years of dedicated service to the Arlington Street Church, a Unitarian Universalist community serving as its senior minister, Maura T. Healey and Kimberly Driscoll. Congratulations, tons of love.
Thank you, honey.
Oh,
That's so fun.
isn't that good? But
Thank
wait,
you.
there's more. Don't go anywhere.
I am the Reverend Fred Small. I am your community minister for climate justice. I'm the former senior minister at our sibling church in Harvard Square, First Parish in Cambridge, where I lasted only 7 years, which is 1/5 of the time that Kim has served you. And if I was 1/5 of the minister that Kim Crawford Harvie is, I will be very, very gratified. I have known Kim since she was in her 20s, before she matriculated at Harvard Divinity School. And because we were friends, I was here in 1989 when she gave her first sermon as settled minister of this congregation, and that sermon changed my life. Without you, Kim, I would not be a Unitarian Universalist. I would not be a Unitarian Universalist minister, because I heard you preach. I had not darkened the door of a church for a long time. I had been raised high Episcopalian in a conservative parish in New Jersey. I call that upbringing, my Christian upbringing, all guilt, no grace. And when I heard you preach, the scales fell from my eyes, and I thought, this is a church. This is a church where I could be a member and participate and be loved and love in return. So thank you. I am honored to present a proclamation by the Honorable Michelle Wu, Mayor of Boston.
I love Michelle.
There is a long enumeration, incomplete though it is, of Kim's virtues and accomplishments. We know them very well. I will cut to the chase. Whereas Reverend Kim Crawford Harvie is retiring from her position at Arlington Street Church June 30th, 2024. We extend this honor. Now, I, Michelle Wu, Mayor of the City of Boston, do hereby proclaim June 30th, 2024 to be Reverend Kim Crawford Harvie Day in the City of Boston.
But I should say thank you. Friends, that was amazing. Thank you so, so much. I'm mortified and gratified. Thank you. Where's Jim Robinson? Jim, where did you go? There's Jim. I just want to say something to you guys about Jim, which is, some of you know I was the first openly queer person to go before the Ministerial Fellowship Committee. It was all prearranged. It was going to happen. They were ready. And they were ready to pass me through. But as Jim explained, not everybody was ready. The UU world was not ready. The world was not ready. And Jim said, come to Brewster. Come serve with me. And I want to say that if you've ever had an ally or an accomplice like that, I would like to meet them. It was such a creative, courageous, visionary thing to do. Jim's people were walking out, and he said, I don't care. This is the right thing to do. It's the right time. So, Jim, for your courage, for your willingness, and for making me a minister, thank you. I love you. Well, here in damp, cold Boston, we heat the sanctuary for 8 months a year at a cost of $2,000 a Sunday. That's $64,000 a year just for heat. And here's the thing about our ancient heat. Our steam is created in a factory and travels across the city through miles of pipes to reach this building. It is inefficient, unreliable, and in no way keeping with our commitment to sustainability. So our funded dream tonight is to defray this astronomical amount so that we can begin to focus on investing in a whole new, environmentally friendly HVAC system.
After paying our staff, we spend more money on heat than anything else. And this year, that cost doubled. As if that's not bad enough, our archaic system is out of compliance with Boston's current emissions standards. If we don't upgrade in the next few years, we'll be facing annual penalties of nearly $5,000. With the new system in place, we can right-size our budget and invest precious pledge dollars in ministry instead of heat. Also, this upgrade will allow us to host weddings and concerts in this beautiful sanctuary all summer long. That kind of rental revenue will both pay for the system and underwrite the programming of the church.
So this is a shout out to John O'Connor, the Reverend John O'Connor, who got the ball rolling at his ordination. Your friends gave almost $7,000 at your ordination. And I want to acknowledge John Anderson Miller, chair of our restoration committee. You have never seen $7,000 go out the door and into the hands of whoever they're called that draw the plans for a system so fast. John was like, I'm on it. So already those plans are being drawn up. It's like we are willing this into existence. It's more than time to fund this dream.
Though it makes Kim squirm, I suggested to the Gala team that this fund be established as Kim's legacy. Can you think of anyone who more embodies the spirit of warmth than this woman? Kim has given 35 years of extraordinary service to this congregation. This church and all of us are her life's work. What a gift. As Kim prepares to head into the adventures of retirement, her great hope is to leave Arlington Street strong, flourishing, and well-positioned for a thriving future. What better way to honor our beloved Reverend Kim than to get this done? Let's send her off knowing that our sanctuary is warm and welcoming, and that our budget can be liberated from this enormous burden. Please join me in giving generously in Kim's name to fund a dream of warmth.
Here we go, Liz Texera, our treasurer, balancing the budget. We're going to do this, Liz. Thank you, friends.
As a congregation, you often say yes. You say yes to the LGBTQ plus community. You say yes to Black Lives Matter. You open up your sanctuary to Boston as it grieves after the Boston Marathon bombers. You welcome artists from the Latinx community. Yay. And now you are going to step into the next decade, next 100 years with a new HVAC system. Very practical, but also very necessary. Anybody right now willing to donate $5,000? Put your bid card in the air so I can see it. $5,000, number 7. We raised, or you raised, $57,000. $57,000, nice job. That was remarkable. Thank you all very much.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.